5 masks. When you find them, when you destroy their bearers, you bring the mask, and we will destroy them.
Well, that's a lot to ask.
Not 4 masks, but all 5 of the colored mask.
And that's a lot to ask from us, but I'll tell you, I will give you my word to do everything within my power to retrieve these masks from wherever that they've been hidden away. And when we get them into our hands, we will do every single thing in our power to make sure that they get directly to you. You have my word as a noble, and then I'm gonna nod to the gold dragon, because I kind of overheard him earlier mention that he didn't believe I was that noble. So I'm gonna nod to him, and I'll say, and that's my word as a noble person of birth of a humanoid descent.
This is,
and then I sit back down, and I'm assuming.
I like it.
In my mind, I imagined myself raising from my chair and putting my hands on either side of the table as I made this proclaimment of my nobility.
Raise your goblet up, raise the goblet up. No, I like that.
And as Tiberius sits back down, I'll lean over. Yeah, great big girls, Blaz. What are you sucking up to these gigantic lizards for? Let's just take what is ours.
Roll a stealth check.
I was saying it very, very quietly.
Okay.
Oh, wait, stealth.
Let's see if any of them hear you.
While he's whispering that, I'm going to chime in as well and say, as we've already stated, I mean, we're all here at this table because we need each other, and hopefully going forward, this can bridge some of those gaps and mend some of those fences so that we can continue forward.
And that's what Otari, she stands and says that's we're hoping to take from this as well, Widow. And Otari stands up, and Eleuthera, he sits down. And, Otari, she is dressed in these beautiful robes of inlaid silver. And she talks to you about, remember on the trip here to the Nether Mountains, I had mentioned that it was good that there were no dwarves that were in your accompaniments. So, this is what I will give you my silver dragons. I do trust humans. I believe that all of the humanoid races can be good and can be evil, as we can see here in front of us. You are definitely good. The acts that you've performed for not only your Waterhavian Council has been good, but the acts themselves alone, they have been good. To destroy an evil that has been banished to the elemental chaos. So I believe that the humanoids can be both good and evil. Now, my colleague Protanthar, on the other hand, he doesn't believe that at all, and so you'll have to pardon his jaded mind. But if you can, if you have been able to sway Protanthar, then I'm sure you'll probably be able to sway the rest of the council. As you hear the motorcycles and shit going on, the little people riding the motorcycles around the room, kind of jumping on
little dwarven motorcycles.
Yeah,
yes.
little hobbits. Never mind.
Put.
She tells you that there's one matter that she would like to have taken care of also, and
of course, always going to be one thing.
Exactly. She resents the dwarves because of the dragon moots of the old great dragon hunts that the dwarves used to perform. And
they were brilliant. I used to love going to them.
She just kind of looks
please,
over towards you and
please
lowers
forgive
her eyebrow.
our companion.
I understand. He is an orc. Yes, but yes, the dragon moot hunts of the great old dragons from the dwarves, those were unacceptable. And centuries ago, one of my kin was killed in one of these dragon moot hunts. And her shell, her skin, her scales were made into ancestral armor. And it was flaunted at us for many generations. I would like that armor back from the dwarves. That is all I want. I do not want any apologies. I do not want anything like that. I just want the remains of my kin back to where they could be put to rest properly. And that does include the armor. That is what I want. And in fact, I am sure that you could probably get that from the dwarf that was at the council. I'm trying to think of his name. What was his name? Ambassador Bronanville from the I think he was from the Mithril Hall, if my memory serves me correctly. The Mithril Hall, they were some of the ones that led many of these dragon moot raids, so I'm sure you can probably get with the ambassador and strike a deal to recover this armor, and then the other silver dragons and myself, we can lay our ancestors to rest the proper way. That is all the concessions that I ask.
That's something that could probably be arranged. We are in pretty good standing with the vast majority of the council due to our deeds, so we will certainly make that effort for you to retrieve that.
Well, hopefully that will work to your favor. All right, she sits down. Then next to her, not next to her, but the male on the end, which is to the right of Eleuthera, he stands up. He is a Nimar, and he is in bronze robes. And Nimar says, I simply have no concessions, my friends. I have weighed what you have said already, and I think that my colleagues have asked quite enough of you already, and I do not want to try to strain the negotiations. And then, as he's saying this, Protanthar says, you're just in love with the elf back in Waterdeep. And, he just kind of shakes his head a little bit, and then Protanthar says that he's in love with Lady Silverhand. Remember, Lady Silverhand was the one that was just appointed the new council head. So, Protanthar says yes. His mind is becoming his mind has become jaded from being in love with an elf. This is, and then he kind of gets a little sick a little bit and fake throws up a couple times.
I mean, the rest of you all want something. He wants something a little different. What's the big deal?
Well,
I'll nod to him. Just like, I accept a accepting nod to Mr. Dragon.
I also curl my lip and look with distaste at a dragon chasing after an elf half his age.
Nice.
Pervert.
I wonder if that would, I guess, because he is an elder, an ancient.
Well, he's got to be several hundred years old. I mean, that's disgraceful.
Yeah, but
Probably
once past 100,
doesn't,
it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah,
Pedophile.
true.
Yeah, sure. Once you go dragon, you gotta hook your wagon. I don't know what else rhymes with dragon. It's not as easy as other races.
He has no request though, so he says he will help you and give you the bronze dragons. And then finally,
now what are we allowed to do with these bronze dragons?
Yeah, let's not worry about that, Shrump. Let's I think we might have. I think is that everybody? I think there might be one more.
Shrump just wants to ride these fuckers into battle and just get it over with.
Exactly.
That's what Shrump wants to do. I know it is. So the last council representative, it is the other female that is sitting to the right.
Has McKella.
Yep. Tazmikella, she is sitting to the left of, sitting to the right of Otari, and she is in beautiful copper robes, and she stands up and says, "Thank goodness none of you are Dragonborn, those bastard spawns." And says, I have no inquiries for myself either. I have lived among the humans. I have lived among the elves in my time, and I have come to respect them quite a bit, but I do not respect thieves. And she sniffs again.
Shit.
She looks at Tiberius,
Absolutely.
and she says,
Tiberius?
"Sir, that staff that you have, that belongs to me. That was stolen from me several decades ago from one of my layers. That I could smell that staff from anywhere."
Yeah, well, it was won by the right of battle. So tough.
Oh, sir, but
Hope you have your
it
receipts,
is
Tiberius.
it is but it was stolen from me. So I will help you. I will give you the copper dragons if you give me your staff back in good faith. That was stolen from me several decades ago.
Yeah,
So
they
I'll-
say finders keepers.
She's talking about
losers
your
weepers.
staff
Yeah,
of healing.
my
too.
staff of healing,
Yeah.
right? What my main weapon is that I use for. So I'm gonna stand, and I'll pull the staff from my pack, and then I'll slowly reveal it. Sliding my hand up and down the staff. Oh, sorry, I got a little crazy there. But and I'll say, this Tazmikella, this is the same staff of which you speak.
Yes, did you happen to have any relatives, possibly? Did you get that
This
from a
staff-
relative, possibly?
This staff just recently came into my
Possession.
Well, yes, thanks. I can't think as fast as you guys can, but I will make you a deal, Tazmikella. Now I need this staff so we can be successful in our journeys. But at the conclusion, when I return you guys to the masks, and at the conclusion of our actions, and I will give you this staff as part of our long-lasting friendship. Because once we've eliminated this threat, there will not be the need for me to heal my comrades in such a way that I would before we defeat this threat. So I will definitely give that to you, and you can have it back in your possession, returning it to your horde.
And it's important that you know that he didn't steal it.
Oh, I believe him. She kind of waves her hand, and she sort of like an arcanic gesture. Now give me a check really quick, Mrs. Vey. Give it to me in the tower too.
And what kind of check?
Give me a perception. Actually, an arcane check, please.
A private check with lots of zeros.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll just take an
All
arcane
zeros.
check. Oh. Yeah, you notice as she waves her hand, she was doing something usually with some kind of like truth. So she just basically cast something to tell if, good old Tiberius was telling the truth. And after a couple seconds, she says, I believe what the human is saying. I believe him. And
I prefer
grant your
humanoid.
request.
Humanoid, if we must, talk to our races. But Tiberius is my name. But if you're going to
Tiberius,
talk
just
to
be
my
what
race,
you are.
humanoid.
I will grant your request, Tiberius, and you may give me the staff after your journey is over. I just hope
Nice
that you
one,
survive the
Tiberius.
journey
I think she fell for it.
so I can get my property back.
Even if something were too unfortunate, and I kind of look over at Tiberius, might happen to Tiberius, I'm sure that the rest of us would follow through with his oath and return the staff to you.
Of course we would. Absolutely.
Kind of give Tiberius a little wink.
I'll sit back down. I'll put the staff back in my pack and sit back down.
So as Tazmikella goes to sit down, she sniffs a couple more times. She says, "Tiberius, boy, this is just not your day today, Tiberius."
No,
She's still her underwear too, Tiberius.
I was going to say, I should have probably taken a shower before getting here.
There is another item that you have in your possession that I believe was part of this same horde that was raided by bandits several decades ago. You have a strange dimensional hole in your possession, do you not?
Oh man, there's so many jokes I can say right now, but I'll stay on character.
Go ahead. I knew that was coming anyway.
Yes, Tazmikella, I do have a dimensional rift where I can store my equipment.
Yes, I remember we, quite a few years ago, we used that same very device that you have in your possession to vanquish several demons and devils back to the abyss. It was exhilarating to do.
Are you saying that this dimensional item also was within your horde that was lifted?
Unfortunately for you, my friend, that is correct. But I will tell you this. I will allow you to give just one of your two possessions of mine, my stolen possessions. I will let you have the choice, and you can just give me one at the end. Or, if you want to give me the portable hole now, I'd be glad to take it, and you can just throw it in the pile behind me.
Well, I appreciate your flexibility on this. I'll give you the when we return back. I'll have my decision made of which item I believe would be more fitting for you.
Okay. So, as Tazmikella, she sits down. Pertanthar, he stands up and he says, "So, we have made our concessions, which are not negotiable. What concessions do you have for us?" He kind of threw you for a loop there, didn't he?
So Widow, Widow, you're sitting in front of Prothanthar, so why don't you go first?
Oh, thanks, Tiberius. I think that our prime goal here, as is yours, is to vanquish this evil. And as long as we come to an agreement and we're able to meet all of your requirements, in my mind, our only one is loyalty. As long as we all are hold up to our end of the bargain, we aid each other going forward to secure this victory. That's for me. That's the most paramount concern.
And I guarantee, as the lead of this council, Mrs. Widow, you will have our loyalty. You will.
I stand.
Yes, Vey. And what is the concession that you would like?
Well,
That you require of us?
not all of us have the means to buy stolen dragon hordes of treasures. But if there's any items that maybe you could offer in loan to assist us in our quest, that would be helpful.
He looks around and Pertanthar says, I'm sure that all of us can probably part with something or another. And a couple of the other council members are kind of like, kind of doing one of those, deep breaths as in, oh boy, here we go, I'm giving up some of my treasure now.
I guess I'll stand up next, and I'll say, being who I am, and from my stock, I have realized over my lifetime that I can't really live as long as, say, a dragon or a majestic elf. So what I would like to ask, not of a concession,
Are
but
you
more
sick,
of
my
a
friend? Do you
reward.
need magical help, or
Well, I would think that if I only could live to my 60s while elves live to their hundreds, that I would say that, being a human stock is probably sick.
it's a
Because
deficiency, right?
it is. There is definitely a problem there. So what I would like to request is that at the conclusion of this, that I get a giant artifact that is renowned through the entire land of our coordination between dragons and humanoids, so that I can put it inside of my my area
Vault.
and my vault, and look upon it and look upon it fondly as I get older in age.
Protanthor says,
And then I sit back
"You
down.
have a vault of treasure."
Wow.
Kind of gives you a.
Nice Tiberius.
I'm sure we can make that happen, and that's good. All of you had your concessions.
I don't know if they was
and-
muted or not.
By
No,
talking to the stream.
no, I'm not. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. Sorry.
Shrum stands and places his mighty fists upon the table.
Oh, it's the orc's turn. We'll
And
get all
leans
the
forward.
mutton and dwarf ale for you. I'm sure that's probably what you want to work. Oh, but I'm just. I jest.
No.
I jest.
I can get all of that what I needs, but I have something far more important, something I want more than anything else in the world.
I put my hand over my face. Oh, God, here it comes.
And what would that
May
be?
I speak it to you
Mighty
in private,
Shrump.
like
Yes. To whom?
to your leader, Profanthor.
That would be Protanthor, and yes, you may.
Yes.
Holy shit. I don't know if I feel comfortable about this. We just made a tenuous relationship, and now this moron's gonna go ask for something in the back room. This does not bode well for our little group here.
Don't worry, it doesn't affect. It won't hurt.
Oh my god.
You'll be fine.
Oh my god. The players can't hear me.
There's
Yes.
nothing against any of you.
To
Upon
burn
that,
down
I
Waterdeep
swear
and
my
destroy
life.
the city. He doesn't know what to say.
You want my
Protanthor,
help.
he looks at you and looks at this and looks back up at you and looks back down, and he says, "We will have to speak in private on this request that you have, Sir Shrum."
You let me know. You let me know what you think, and when you decide that you needs us, what is going to help you, then you can help me. You got some of these things what you wants, like what's her face's coat of armor, what is made from her relatives and dead relatives. That's vengeance, that is, and you want them to say sorry for that elvish missile, what they has.
Elvish
Then that's all
missile.
vengeance. Well, this is my vengeance.
That is an interesting request. That was nothing that I ever thought from a humanoid would ever ask. But that is something that I'm going to have to think upon. That is an awful huge request, Sir Shrump.
Yeah.
That is
Also,
that
I'd
is
also
a
mention that we've put everything out there on the table, and we've all agreed on these things. I don't know how I feel about we agreeing on things in secret.
I am.
Nobody said it had to be out in the open.
Yeah, a couple of the other, not to Protanthor, but Otari, she actually is in agreement with Vey. She doesn't want anything to be left in the shadows. She wants everything to be put out on the table. And also Taz
Have some
McKella.
transparency here.
Yeah, she wants to make sure that all ends of the deal are going to be honored. So she doesn't want to have anything she doesn't want to be guessing on anything or what anyone has requested.
Very well. I'll say it in public. I want Waterdeep to be burnt to the ground. I want the entire city destroyed and everybody in it.
Holy shit.
Okay, well, we obviously are not going to do that.
And Protanthar asks, and is there a reason why you request this concession, Shrump?
Vengeance for the murder of my parents.
Well, that's noble in itself, but don't believe the entire town or city is responsible for that.
Vengeance for vengeance.
Wouldn't
Blood
it be
for
more
blood.
sensible? I mean, I know this is very orc-like, but wouldn't it be more sensible to find those who killed your parents and bring them to justice?
As Vey said, I
I've been trying to do that my entire adult life. That's why I started working for the Guard.
So,
Those that killed your parents may already be dead.
Otari, she asks you, so you do not know who the actual perpetrators are who killed your parents, but you wish
No,
to
I
make
don't.
the entire city suffer for something that has been grieving you your whole life?
That's right. All of them. Every last one of them.
I'm sure there is some kind of magic that could be used to find the perpetrators. I do not see the need of destroying Waterdeep. I do not think that we as a council could destroy Waterdeep. Waterdeep is a huge city. They have very, very powerful mages in their mage towers. They have a massive army. I don't think it could be. I don't think that request. I don't think that concession could be done, says Otari.
And I think we might be, although I think, I agree that there may be some magical means to this end to make people pay that are responsible. To destroy the entire city of Waterdeep would be very much contradictory to what we're trying to achieve here. That would do nothing but create a war between the, humanity and the dragons.
Yeah,
It would fan the flames.
Also, no
not
one here can
the-
make that decision anyway.
Pretenthor says,
Why not?
he tells you that he will procure magical ways to find out who killed your parents.
Fine. That'll be acceptable. But if I find out you ever lies to me, dragon, there won't be no mountain in what is big enough and high enough for you to hide up.
Oh my goodness.
He just kind of you can tell he's biting you can tell that he is getting a little frustrated as well, and he says, you just make sure that you bring the mask, also bring back the remains of Otari's kin, and you will have the perpetrators who killed your family. I will guarantee you this.
That sounds fine to me. Thank you.
Also, don't be too offended, sir. I mean, his vengeance knows no bounds. He wants to destroy an entire city of innocents.
They are not innocents. My family was killed by a mob. A mob. I tell you, that means there's more than one person what is involved. It was a whole mob of people.
Yeah, but there's people who probably are born and live their lives in that town now since that's happened, and you want to destroy them all.
Yeah.
That's foolish.
I
It
think
is
that
an
we've,
orcish way. It is vengeance.
I think we've come
Thank
to.
you. Taking those words right out of my mouth.
I think we've come to the best possible agreement that we can. Like I said, my only interest is in future relations with the dragon. My guild that I am representative of I think we would be mutually beneficial to each other. So I'm all about fostering a loyal and trusting relationship.
Then it is done. Pertanther says, then we will end the council and Otari